Hey guys, Iron Jordan here. Today we're going to talk about the three secret rares in set 9. So, going back a little bit, Bandai started coming out with secret rares in set 2. Eventually we started getting two secret rares per set. I think that happened in set 6 or 7. And now in set 9 we're going to get 3. We'll talk about the 3 right now. The first one is Son Goku and Vegeta. Can't really read the name. It's a spoiler. It's not an official spoiler, so can't really read the name. There is an official spoiler floating around though, so if you want to find it, you can. The important thing is the text, though. Ultimate Victory Strike. So obviously, we start out with the most broken keyword in the game. We never thought they'd ever print Victory Strike again because it's a little unbalanced. Why would you reward a player for not hitting your opponent for the duration of the game when their entire plan is to just hit them with one card? Nonetheless, we continue Energy Exhaust Invoker. So it's a red-blue card. They want you to play it with Invoker. It fits the theme of Universe 7 in set 9. So Invoker. Activate main. 2 red, 3 blue. If your leader card is a Universe 7 card and you have 5 or more red-blue multicolored extra cards in your drop area, negate the skills of your opponent's non-extra cards in all areas until the end of your opponent's next turn, then play this card from your hand. 45k power. So, obviously this card's going to be good. Anything that says Victory Strike on it, doesn't matter what it is. It could be a 1 mana, 1k with Victory Strike, and it would be, well, that would actually be pretty busted. But anything with Victory Strike is going to be a good, solid, playable card. I don't think that this card is as good as Son Goku the Awakened Power, because Son Goku the Awakened Power comes down and says, you can't negate my attack, you can't negate my skills, I'm just going to kill you, you're just going to lose. There are obviously answers to that card, and I actually think there are fewer answers to this card. So, firstly, the summoning condition is relatively easy to meet. So, if you're playing something like Android 17, which we just made a deck profile with, this card could slot in very easily into that deck. And you could just use the 18 to pitch your multicolored extra cards. You could actually slide more in. And in fact, if you play this, I definitely suggest you play more than like 6 or 8 multicolored extra cards for sure. Slot them in, and you're just good to go. This card activates in hand. So the activate main cannot really be responded to. Now, your opponent's effects, their non-extra card effects, are going to be turned off no matter what if you activate main this card. Now, they can still respond to the effect of it being played with like a extra card because it doesn't negate extra cards. So you can still Bloodlust it, you can still Frost Deadly Poison this card, and it won't have Victory Strike for that turn, but your effects are going to be turned off. So when you get to your opponent's turn, they have to kill this with an extra card on their turn to get rid of it. You can obviously negate this card's attack and all that other stuff too. So that's why I think maybe it's a little bit weaker than Son Goku Awakened Power, but I do think this is still a very powerful card. I think people are underestimating it maybe a little bit. But again, like I said, man, that keyword, just never underestimate that keyword. It's disgusting. We're going to move on to the second one. The second one, a really poor image quality of it, is the Cell Zeno. So this is a 12-drop, quadruple strike, ultimate, deflect, energy exhaust, successor. Auto, if you have 5 or more energy when you play this card, choose up to 3 cards in your opponent's hand, place them in their drop area, and this card gains dual attack for the duration of the turn, 40k power. I think this card is incredible. I think this card is a little more splashable than the Goku, because the Goku obviously wants you to be playing a U7 leader, and a bunch of blue-red extra cards. This one, you really don't need to have anything other than the fact that you're at 5 energy and playing green-yellow. In fact, you don't even have to be at 5 energy to play this thing. You can, honestly, Golden Frieza can play this on 2. If we're being straight up honest, Golden Frieza can play this card on 2 if he has, like, an insane awakening turn. He can just... That's just what Golden Frieza does. So, obviously, he's not going to get the effect. He's not going to get the dual attack in the drop 3, but he'll have a quad strike deflect 40k for free. Here's the thing about this card. Successor, I think this is the first card that we've seen that successors for free, that pays no energy to successor, and that's kind of insane. I think it's very feasible that you get this card in Golden Frieza, which I think is the deck that's going to take the biggest advantage of it, by the way, which is why I keep saying Golden Frieza. It's very feasible that you're going to see this card because you draw most of your deck in Golden Frieza. It's very feasible that you're just going to kill your opponent with this card, because you're going to arrival in your Broly's on your opponent's turn, you're going to tap down their energy, and then you're going to attack with those Broly's on your turn, and then you're going to play this Cell, and then you're going to call game. I think this card is the best in its deck. I think that out of the three, and we're going to talk about the third one here in a second. I think out of the three, I think this is the best one in its deck that it wants to be in, which I think again is Golden Frieza. There will be other green yellow decks, but obviously I'm being a little biased because I do play Golden. But I think that card is going to be fantastic, and I definitely will be hunting one of these. So we'll move on to the third one. Black Smoke Dragon Eternal Evil. 10 drop, ultimate, permanent. This card can't attack. If you have 12 or more cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 5. Activate main once per turn. Choose one. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barriers, send them to their owner's warps. Send the top 7 cards of your opponent's deck to their warp and draw 2 cards, or choose 4 cards from your opponent's hand and send them to their warp. I think this card's fantastic. I also think it's extremely splashable. Thankfully, Janemba cannot play this. However, Cooler can play it. It has no energy restriction at all. It has no color restriction at all. This is almost kind of like Demigra, but even more splashable than Demigra. Because Demigra at least is a Dark Overwhelm card, and you have to have. I just think this card is insane. I don't think that it's so splashable that it almost hurts. This card can go in almost anything that doesn't play a secret rare. So we used to say that in the previous set about the Black Dragon Balls, the negative energy Dragon Balls, that, hey, if you play a deck that doesn't play a secret rare, then you can just play the Dragon Balls. But this one, I think this one is going to take that thing's place because look at everything that this thing does. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. Warping your opponent's board is good. Milling your opponent for 7, even if you're not in a mill deck, just like in those random matchups where your opponent's playing like Vanilla and they just draw so much of their deck. It's like, okay, cool, drop this, you're dead. Awesome. Now, I will say that this is the most defensible. It's the easiest to defend against out of all those cards because we're getting a lot of different counterplay cards in set 9. Like, there's a new Android 17 that says the card can't activate its skills or attack or whatever, stuff like that. The Dabura is the same way. And again, it can be Deadly Poison, it can be Crusher Ball. Now, the Cell can as well. But I think that the biggest reason why I think this is the most powerful one is because the lack of energy cost. If you're rivaling Broly's on your opponent's turn for defense and then using them to attack what did you tap for this card? You tap nothing. Because you're going to untap on your turn, you're going to come back, you're going to swing at your Broly's, you're going to have 5 energy open, you're going to go, cool, I'm paying nothing to play this 12 drop. Rip 3 cards out of your hand, I'm going to attack you twice with Crowd Strike, even if you stop this card. Even if even if you stop this card, you still got to deal with somebody who left 5 energy open. That is why I like this card a lot. I think this one is insane, and this is definitely the one that I'm going to be hunting. Obviously, if I can get all 3, I will. I always buy a little bit of product, so I I just really think Bandai did a really good job. I think that typically the secret rares, what we usually have is like, there's one that's kind of worse, like when you get like the Black Dragon Balls from the last set or whatever. This one's kind of worse, or this one's kind of gimmicky and all that other stuff. But I think these are all very powerful. They fit their archetypes very well for the two that want to play in archetypes, the Cell and the Goku for sure. And then this card is just, wow, this card is just so splashable. It's so splashable. Insane. But yeah, good job, Bandai. I think these are all relatively well-designed cards. I don't think they're hyper-broken. I think they're very powerful, but I don't think they're hyper-broken. They fit a Secret Rare's power level. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. We'll have a little bit of discussion. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.